Now, what we're about to hear from the CHRS Radio Dog Theater, I want you to all place yourself in a radio theater frame of mind. It's The Adventures of Sam Spade, the Blood Money Caper. This campy detective program aired in 1946 and will air again today in 2019. And has plenty of references we actually can't make today in 2019. It's called The Lost Episode, as it was the only show actually written by Dashiell Hammett. Unfortunately, Terry McGovern, who's been a long-running part of the CHRS Radio Dog Theater, couldn't be with us today, but the announcer's role will be played, and ably, I'm sure, by Peter Finch. Now, here is our director, KCBS Radio's very own Peter Finch.
Thank you, and the network is coming to us in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3. The hair-raising adventures of Sam Spade, Detective, brought to you by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for Hair.
Sam Spade, Detective Agency.
Hello, sweetheart.
Oh, Sam, is it over?
Hey, it's me, Sammy the Spade, and I've got to tell you.
Oh, you know
what a day.
Who
What
was
a day
behind all
indeed.
that on Montgomery Street?
I'll tell you about it when I get there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I even had a fight with, well, I guess you'd call it a woman.
Why, everyone knows you can lick any woman. Well, your weight.
Hey, not this one. I tell you what, sweetheart. When I get there, I'm going to tell you all about it. So grab a couple of pencils. I'll be right over to dictate my report on the Blood Money Caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective, science fiction writer, and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and Steve Cushman and Peter Finch, outstanding producer-director team of mystery and crime drama. Join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented each Sunday by Wild Root Cream Oil, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that will put your hair back in place again, grooming it neatly, naturally, the way you want it. Why does a girl turn thumbs down to a man? Here's one very important reason why. According to a recent survey, 97 out of 100 girls dislike a man whose hair is either unkempt or too slicked down. So don't look that way. Spruce up with Wild Root Cream Oil. It grooms your hair neatly and naturally, and as our survey shows, that's exactly how girls like to see it. Non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin, the soothing oil that's so much like the oil of your own skin. 4 out of 5 users in a nationwide test preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. You'll like it too. And now, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
Oh, Sam, your eye. She did hurt you.
Oh, nuts. I just ran into a closed fist. Now get your book. Let's get started.
You get any of the $1 million, Sam?
Yeah, all of it. Yeah, but there's a hole in my pants pocket. So come on, shake a lead out of your pencil.
Oh, look what I got, Sam. It writes underwater.
For this report, you'll need one that writes under Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, really?
Put it on our best stationery. It's going to go to the president of the Golden Gate Trust Company. What's left of it, that is. You ready?
I'm always ready, Sam.
Dear Mr. Newhall, your daughter Ann is your problem. 2 weeks ago, you retained me to check on her movements, and you suspected she was seeing a man known as Red O'Leary. You also said you feared he was a, quote, disreputable character. Well, you were right on both counts. On the night of September 16th, I picked up the subject, your daughter, at the Blue Bottle Bar and Grill. She and Mr. O'Leary were seated in a booth in the rear, punishing the phony scotch. I kept a plant on them, and during the next days, they met regularly at the Blue Bottle. They never went anywhere else. They just sat and they talked. That is, Ann talked and Red listened. This routine continued till last night, when I tailed him to a joint called Big Flora's on Telegraph Hill. I cooled my heels outside for a while, and then I went in after him. Big Flora's was a new gin mill on the hill. It had been going less than a month, but it was going strong. I drifted over to the bar and threw a fast case around the place. No local guns, strictly an out-of-state mob. O'Leary and your daughter were in a side booth. Big Flora herself pinned one on me when I entered, and she stood at least 5'10" in my stocking feet. Broad-shouldered, deep-bosomed, thick-armed, a brown accordion-pleated throat, and a handsome, brutal face.
Wow, did you just get in town, dearie? Or are you the local talent?
Oh, no, I'm from KC. That make you happy?
KC. Proby?
Bobby Pushkin?
Mm-hmm, Proby Pushkin.
Bobby's still eating jute, you know.
You know him. What's your name?
I got a dozen. You like Little Morphy?
Little Murphy's dead.
I know. I was with him in a busted caper that croaked him. He gave me his last name before he died.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you must be a really right guy.
That's right.
Shake!
Hey, ow!
Oh, come on, dearie. You must be soft. Come on, this calls for one on the house. Out of my way, Papadopoulos! I'm mixing these myself. This boy's from Kansas City. Meet my bartender, Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Was there anybody in this place that you wanted to meet in particular?
Well, how about that gold-plated mouse over there?
Well, that's Red O'Leary's property, Miss Ann Newhall. She came in here, slumming, I think they call it. Her and Red looked at each other, dearie. That was a look. Love, I think they call it.
Oh, please, yes. Talk to her.
Would you shut up?
Ow! Oh, please! Please! I did not mean anything. No, Flora, no. Don't strike me again.
Come on, stop shaking, Papadopoulos. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anybody tonight.
I am so glad, Flora. It is so nice to see you so happy.
Well,
Flora, I've got to talk to you in private.
Sure. Take over, honey. I gotta talk to this boy. Come in the back, Blue Point.
Yes, Flora, dear.
Hey, why do you let her knock you around like that? Ain't you got a union?
Well, what can I do? I don't know.
Well, who's the gun she took into the back room?
Some gangster, I think. Vance is his name. Blue Point Vance.
Quite a few guns here this evening. There's Patty the Mex. Haven't seen him since the days of the old beer mob. Fat Boy Clark, Cokie Harmon, and that frizzy blonde dame is Angel Grace Cardigan, isn't it?
Oh, please, believe me. Everyone here is a gangster, is a criminal. They have been drifting in here ever since that Red O'Leary came to San Francisco.
Oh, a new mob, huh? Red O'Leary, the big gun?
Oh, please, I know nothing of such matters.
Well, any idea what's the caper?
I have no idea.
Flora know, huh?
Flora don't know. She likes anybody that brings money into the place.
Smart gal, Flora.
Yes. I must wait on a customer. Excuse me.
I looked up, and Big Flora was coming out of the back room with Blue Point Vance. They laughed about something, and then he walked away. And then Flora went over and whispered to Ann Newhall. Looking a little frightened, Ann got up and followed her into the back room. Red gave her a reassuring smile as she disappeared through the curtains, and then I went over to Red's table.
What do you want, Seamus?
Oh, you mind if I sit down?
Yeah, I mind, but it looks like you don't.
Hey, Red, why don't you leave that girl be? This isn't her crowd.
Now, look, Spade, I don't mind you tailing us. That's the way you make your living, but let's keep it formal, shall we?
Okay. Mr. O'Leary. Who's the boss gun of this mob?
Mob? What mob?
Hey, don't be coy. There's not a face in this room that doesn't have a picture on it. Front view, side view with a number underneath.
Well, why are you telling me?
Well, my job is to look after Ann Newhall.
Well, go ahead if you think she needs it.
She needs it. She's drinking too much, and it's starting to show.
Oh, you're not a snob, are you, Sammy?
Hey, why should a kid that's got everything throw it away for you, who's got nothing?
Oh, you sound like you wish she'd throw it away maybe in your direction.
I do indeed, Red. I do indeed.
Now, look, Sam, I've been walking the straight end ever since I left Chicago.
Yeah, that's what you told her?
That's what I told her. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, it couldn't be that you're rushing Ann Newhall because she knows her way around the Golden Gate Bank, huh?
Oh, use your head, Sammy. You couldn't blow the Golden Gate with A-bombs.
Ann might know what day the time locks are sprung. Or she might find out from her daddy.
Oh, use your head, Sammy. Montgomery Street is crawling with cops and bank guards who can lay their hands on more heavy artillery in 30 seconds than this mob ever saw in their lives.
You know, guys have been crazy enough to try it.
Oh, not this guy.
Well, good. Now, what about Ann Newhall?
What about Ann Newhall, Mr. Spade?
Oh, hello, Miss Newhall.
No, Sammy doesn't believe I've gone straight, Ann.
Why do you waste your time talking to a sneaky gumshoe like him anyway, Red?
I felt like talking to him. You got any objections?
Of course not, Red darling. I just thought, maybe you thought you had to be nice to him because he's working for Father.
Oh, but he thinks he's working for you.
Well, he's not, Mr. Spade. I'm sick and tired of being followed around by you. Red is very well qualified to protect me. And if you don't leave us alone, I'm going to ask him to protect me from you. Do I make myself clear?
Huh. Okay, sweetheart. I'll call your old man in the morning and tell him I'm through. And I'm going to tell him why I'm through.
Because Red threatened you, I suppose?
No, sweetheart, that's not why. The why is because you aren't worth protecting. Well, I went home and I tried to forget about your daughter, Ann. And I did pretty nearly, but I couldn't shake the hunch I had about the mob in Big Flora's place. I kept thinking about them and about your bank, Mr. Newhall. Your bank and the bank that faced it across the street on Montgomery contained a good part of the cash money in the city of San Francisco. For a mob of chief gunsels to knock over every one of those banks would be like splitting Gibraltar with a BB gun. But supposing the cops were really masterminded, 100 really tough guys might crack both of them at once. I counted 30 in Big Floors alone, and they were still coming in when I left. It was a cute hunch, but wild, so I decided to sleep on it. Next morning, I was reaching for the phone to call you when it rang. Yes?
Mr. Spade, this is Taylor Newhall.
Yes, Mr. Newhall, I was just going to call you about your daughter.
Yes, Mr. Spade. About my daughter, there's no point in your continuing on that job. I've decided that Mr. O'Leary is all right.
You feeling all right this morning, Mr. Newhall?
Yes, Mr. Spade. I've met O'Leary and,
Hey, just a minute, Newhall. Hey, Mr. Newhall, where are you calling from? The bank?
no, I'm at home. I decided not to go into the bank today.
You're a lucky man, Mr. Newhall.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm looking out the window right now toward Montgomery Street, Mr. Newhall, and I can barely see your bank for the gun smoke.
What's that? I can't hear you.
I can't even hear myself. I'll call you back, Mr. Newhall. I couldn't see the bank building directly, but the block between Kearny and Montgomery told me enough. 10 police squad cars were piled up near the corner, and the cops had been mowed down as they crawled out of the wreckage. The bandits had started the caper by knocking over the garage where the banks keep their armored trucks, and they mowed down the law as fast as it could come in. A police grenade blew one of the trucks sky high, and the cops moved in another few yards, but The Gunsells had thrown up a barricade behind it and held their lines. Guns shattering, grenades exploding, sirens screaming, and the yells of the battling men. It was like the soundtrack of All Quiet on the Western Front. The Battle of Montgomery Street had begun.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting Blood Money, an adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. In just 21 words, I can sum up for you the reason why more and more men are using Wild Root Cream Oil all the time. Here they are. Mainly because Wild Root Cream Oil has the advantages that men expect from a fine hair tonic without the disadvantages they sometimes find. Yes, that's the gist of it. Now, what real man wants a tonic that plasters his hair and gives it a greasy, sissified look? Wild Root Cream Oil never does that. It grooms your hair naturally without a trace of that slicked down appearance. Or, what man wants a hair tonic that makes him smell like a perfume factory? Wild Root Cream Oil never does that either. This grand, non-alcoholic product has just a slight masculine fragrance. Besides, it does a really thorough job of grooming, keeps your hair handsomely in trim, relieves annoying dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. And remember, there's not a single drop of alcohol in Wild Root Cream Oil. What's more, it contains soothing lanolin, so get the big economy size at your drugstore or toilet goods counter. And the next time you visit your barber, ask him to use Wild Root Cream Oil on your hair.
Get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keeping all those gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get a bottle right away. Your druggist has it. A little goes a long, long way. You hear it screaming. Keeps you looking neat all day.
Now back to Blood Money, tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
By 12 o'clock, the Battle of Montgomery Street was over. On the desk in my office, the afternoon papers screamed the news of the Siemens National and Golden Gate Trust double looting in 5 colors. The returns weren't all in yet, but the score stood at 16 coppers knocked off, 3 times that many wounded, and 12 innocent spectators, bank clerks and the like, killed. The bandits had lost 7 known dead and 31 prisoners, and the others, 100-odd, had made a clean getaway using ordinary cars that were easily lost in traffic. I was reading the newspaper guesses as to the size of the loot, around $10 million.
Oh, Sam, there's a man outside. I think he's been shot. There's blood all over the...
Stay in here, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see him in the outside office.
They jumped me. It started.
Hey, what started? You need a doctor.
You gotta listen to me, Spade. I don't think I got much more time. I got 5 slugs in me. I'm Blue Point Vance.
Yeah, you're a pal of Big Flora's, one of the mob that was in the Montgomery Street push, huh? What else? He talked. And the way he told it, the mob was split up into 10 groups. Each group had a leader. Each leader received a map and a detailed plan of his part in the operation, but none of them knew who made the plans. Each one took his orders from the group leader just ahead of him, like a chain letter kind of scheme. And Blue Point was the top link in the chain. I asked him who was the Eisenhower.
Don't know. Every man's cut. 100 grand. Every one of us knocked off ups the divvy for the others. See? That's what I mean. It started.
Yeah, well, who do you get your orders from? Come on, Blue Point. Come on. Who is it?
It was Red O'Leary.
Yeah, Red O'Leary. I was afraid of that. Effie!
Yes, Sam. Oh, Dad.
Yeah?
Oh, no.
Call homicide. Tell them to get the boys up here with the basket.
Did he tell you anything?
Some, Effie. Some. Take the rest of the day off.
All right.
Blue Point Vance said that it had started, and it had. They were dropping all day long, in alleys, singly at first, Happy Jim Hacker, and Ratface, and then in twos and threes, and finally 24 mowed down where they were lined up against a wall in a house on Fillmore. And for every mobster killed, there was a bigger chunk of blood money per man among the survivors. Around 6 in the evening, I walked up Telegraph Hill to Big Flora's. The neon sign was dark and curtains drawn tight over the windows, and a sign on the door said, "Closed for alterations." I climbed a flight of stairs to Big Flora's rooms over the saloon and pounded on the door.
Well,
Wacky Washburn sent me.
Step inside. We'll talk in here. The parlor's in use.
So it's you, Flora. Oh, I thought I heard the door. Oh, excuse me. Ow! Ow!
I thought I told you to keep your trap shut in front of our guests.
Oh, no, please, Flora, please. I will be good. Don't strike me again, please.
So you and Papadopoulos are at it again. Is he your husband or something?
Him? Does little man want to love his big Flora? Come on.
Flora, please, don't.
What's the matter, honey? Don't you like to be hugged?
Oh, yes, Flora, but remember the last time, remember? Oh, my ribs. And they had to tape them up.
You should have heard him squeal when they pulled off the adhesive. Sit down, honey. Sit down before you fall down. You too.
Oh, thanks.
Well, all right. Talk. What, when, and why?
Well, I'm Percy McGuire. And I want my 150 grand.
Well, listen, Percy. You got a bill? You got to give it to the big guy.
I don't even know who he is.
That makes two of us.
But Flora, that is not true. You know he is coming here this evening.
What was that you said, dearie?
Now, Flora, dearling. Oh, darling.
I swear.
No, I did not mean to say anything
So
wrong.
help me,
I
Papa
swear I
Douglas,
did not,
I
Flora,
will
please,
kill you
please.
next time.
Hey, that's enough of that.
Says who?
It says me. I say so. So pick on somebody your own size, why don't you?
Oh, you look like you're about my weight.
Yeah, you better not, Flora. You might get hurt. Oh.
Defend yourself, man. Defend yourself.
Okay, sister. You asked for it.
I oughta. Spade.
I got the worst of it from the beginning. She led with her right like a woman, but she was a southpaw. I didn't know that. I got in a couple where they should have counted, but where most women are soft, she had muscle. I was punchy before the round was over. And when somebody rang the doorbell, I was on the carpet, saved by the bell.
Pardon me while I answer the door, Mr. McGuire. We're going to finish this later, I'll tell you. Oh, just let me take your gun. Whew. Getting old, out of condition. But we had fun, didn't we? Help him up, Papadopoulos. I'm going to go get him some water.
Are you all right? Are you badly hurt? Stay close by me this evening. We will help each other against that she-devil.
Hey, that wouldn't be the big gun she's letting in now.
Yes, it is time.
Okay, you guys, step in here. You know Papadopoulos, Mr. McGuire, Red O'Leary, and, of course, Miss Newhall.
Miss Flora, Red is badly hurt.
Hurt? Then why didn't you say so? What happened, Red? Did they jump on you?
I got a slug in my neck and I can't move my arm.
Red thought you might know of a doctor we could trust.
Only doc I know got knocked off with that bunch on Fillmore.
Hey, let me take a look at that, Red.
Are you a Doc McGuire?
I don't think he'd last to the hospital and through all the questioning they'd give him before they'll touch this, huh?
No, don't say that.
Well, he's lost a lot of blood, you know. But he's tough. The slug stuck in the neck muscle. I can dig it out. You got any disinfectant in the house?
No, nothing but a bottle of tincture of iodine, but it's mostly dried up.
You. Listen carefully, Miss Newhall.
Yes?
All right, go down to the corner drugstore. Get some alcohol, swabs, iodine, cotton gauze. You know, the kind of gauze with the blue cross on it. If he doesn't have that kind, tell him to phone out for more.
I don't know. I don't know why, but she just don't look right. Don't look right at all.
Shut up and get out to the kitchen and boil me some water. And get some towels and clean rags, too, and hurry it up. I started digging the slug out of Red O'Leary's neck, and it took about an hour. He was out most of the time, and then I put a bandage on it using Flora's iodine for disinfectant. He was still running a fever when he got to his feet. He got to his feet wearing his lips in a grin. His right arm just hung useless, and he reached out to get his gun with his left hand. His shoulder holster was empty, no gun in it, and the other empty holster was mine.
Where's Flora?
I sent her out to boil some more water. Shall we talk?
Listen, there is no time to talk. I know that you sent that girl out to phone the police, Mr. Spade. Yes, I also know that you are Sam Spade.
Oh, Anne's no stool pigeon. She wouldn't rat on me.
She would if she thought it was the only way of saving your life. If she got what I was trying to tell her, that's what she'd think.
Why, you...
No. He is right, Mr. O'Leary. That she-devil, she will kill us all. Better the police. Spade, listen to me. Let me get out past the police, and I will give you everything.
Well, go on out. Who's stopping you?
Look out the window. Plainclothesmen watching the door, waiting for a squad car. I am old. I am sick. What have I got to do with robberies? You have seen it here. I'm a slave. I, who am near the end of my life. Abuse, cursing, beatings, and those are not enough. And now I must go to prison because of that she-devil? You will help me go out, please? I will give you that she-devil. I will give you the money they stole.
Well, how can I get you out?
Why not? How not? You are a friend of the police. You can take me out past your friends, the police. Do what I ask, and I will give you the monies. $10 million. Make no mistake, when that she-devil comes back into this room, you will die. Both of you. She will kill you instantly and certainly.
Papadopoulos!
That sounds like it's too late.
Where are you old hound?
I am here, Flora.
Where's that stool pigeon, huh? There you are. You're gonna put the police on me?
Who, me? I tipped the police?
You are that dame that came in here with Red. You're done. Both of you are done. You hear me? Done.
No, wait, Flora, please, Flora. Not here like this, please. Don't give the police such evidence. Let me take them into the cellar.
Okay, but make it quick. Make it quick, dearie. Soon that squad car is gonna be out there. They'll be pounding on the door. You just call me when you're finished, and I'll help you haul them out of sight.
All right, you guys, you will march ahead of me. If either one of you makes one move, I will shoot you. I am holding 2 guns on you.
Red and I walked ahead of Papadopoulos into the hall. I opened the door he indicated, switched on the basement light, and helped Red down the uneven flight of steps.
Listen to me. I will first show you the monies, and then I will give you that she-devil. You will not forget your promise. I shall go out through the police.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And what about me?
Well, you think Big Flora would let a rabbit like him change her plan?
Oh, so Big Flora was the boss. Well, that's a laugh.
Now, both of you in here. You take these.
What kind of joke is this supposed to be?
I give you these guns to show you I keep my promise. Now, quickly, follow me. I know where the monies are hidden.
I followed him and Red O'Leary to the end of the low passageway, and Papadopoulos got down on his knees and started clawing at the wall like a rat. With trembling hands, he lifted out a section of loose bricks, and then we saw it. It was still in the boxes and bags the way it came, carried from the banks. He insisted on opening some of them to show me the money. Hundreds of bundles of green stacked in a metal-lined cell that was as dry and airless as the bank vault they'd lived in before.
That is it, as you see, is the money. Now, that she-devil, you will stand hiding behind these boxes. When I bring her down the stairs, you will know what to do.
Oh, yeah, Pappy, we'll know what to do, all right.
He wasn't long in coming back, and Flora came down the steps ahead of him. She had a gun in each hand, and her gray eyes were everywhere. Her head was down like an animal's coming to a fight. Her nostrils quivered. Her body, coming down, not fast, not slow, was balanced like a dancer's. She was a beautiful, fight-bred animal.
Come on! Come out or I'll come in and get ya!
Now, stay here, Spade. I want first crack at the old witch.
Hey, Red, come back here. Come here, Red! Red!
Oh!
She dropped Red without moving a muscle that I could see. I guess the poor guy must have been a little feverish from his wound, running out into the open like that, firing wildly with his wobbly left hand. I didn't feel heroic myself. I just aimed the best way I knew how from my ambush and squeezed the trigger.
Ah! You bungling idiot! Oh, you idiot! You shot the wrong one! You shot the wrong man! You shot the wrong one!
My aim had been bad. I'd aimed for his leg, but I got him in the side. After that last scream, he didn't make any more noise, and then he didn't move anymore. Big Flora let the gun fall from her hands and knelt down beside his body.
What did you do that for? I was the one with the gun on you. Why didn't you shoot me instead?
Well, I figured who he was. I figured who he was when you let him bring me down here where the money was without squawking your head off.
He was the smartest, kindest man I'd ever known.
Yeah, smart enough and kind enough to put about 300 people out of their misery. Listen, Flora, don't you know he gave us guns and brought us down here so we'd knock you off and he'd have all the loot to himself?
He wasn't much of a man for muscle. He had brains, though, you see. He was smarter than any copper that ever lived. You killed a great man. I hope you feel good about it.
Yeah. You and he were a great team. Nobody would have suspected that the arch gun of the biggest mob in history was Big Flora's whipping boy.
I never wanted to bat him around like that, but I had to. I never really hurt him. He used to laugh. We used to laugh about it all the time.
All right, down there. All your exits are covered. Come out with your hands clasped behind your necks. This is the police.
All right. Keep your shirt on. Come on, let's just get it over. No use fighting anymore.
You really loved him, didn't you, Flora?
So what? Who are you to laugh at us?
Yeah, you're right. Who, Flora? Who am I to laugh at you? Well, after the cops had cleaned up at Big Flora's, I took your loving daughter on home in a taxi, Mr. Newhall. See itemized account enclosed. She was pretty broken up about Red O'Leary's death, but I think she'll recover. Please don't leave either your $10 million or your daughter lying around loose again. as the entire incident has caused me a great deal of trouble, and I will therefore have to charge you my regular fee of $25 a day and expenses instead of my usual fee for tailing. Period. End of report.
Oh, Sam, I wished you'd just take one little package of that money. They'd never have missed it.
Oh, Effie, I'm surprised at you. That wouldn't be ethical.
I don't know why you have to get all ethical on me every time the installment is due on the office furniture.
Hey, what's this?
Oh, a letter. It came for you this morning.
Well, why didn't you tell me? Hey, it's from the Golden Gate Trust.
Oh.
A reward for my services? Well, hurry up and open it.
All right.
Ah, it's a check.
Yeah, it's a check, all right.
How much?
$3.83.
What's that for?
Oh, I don't know. It's made out to Big Flora's Bar and Grill, signed by you, and stamped return for lack of funds.
How do you like that?
I get used to it, I suppose, in time. Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
You've been listening to Sam Spade, Money Caper. Starring Sam Van Zandt, Sam Spade, and Miranda Wilson as Big Flora. Also appearing in today's cast were Celeste Perry, Michael Bennett, Alisa Clancy, Richard Gossett, Hoyt Smith, with Steve Cushman as Popdopoulos. Sound mix by Dan Healy. Today's drama was produced by Steve Cushman and directed by yours truly. Thank you. Just one more thing. When we were casting this and I was directing it, I knew we had to get somebody who could nail Big Flora because it's such a juicy part. Miranda Wilson nailed it. 2 days ago, it was her birthday, so I think a round of happy birthday is in order on a count of 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Big Flora. Happy birthday to you.
I want this young man. I want to introduce to you guys Chris Chapman. Hello. Chris is the youngest member of the California Historical Radio Society. And accepted the challenge of doing the sound playback for this show, and he did a great job, and let's thank him.